All right, let's open the case file on one of television's most complex figures, Thomas Shelby. We've all seen him, we all think we know him. But what if I told you the entire show is a mystery, and the biggest clue has been hiding in plain sight this whole time?
I mean, there's no debate, right? The guy is an absolute legend. The flat cap, the ice-cold stare, the mind that's always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. We watched him claw his way from the back streets of Birmingham to the halls of Parliament.
But here's the question that changes everything. We see what he does, but do we really know why? What if the man we've been watching all these years is just a front? What if the real Tommy Shelby is someone the show never actually introduced?
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the evidence, piece together the clues the writers left for us, and uncover the truth behind the man. This is the explainer that decodes the enigma of Thomas Shelby.
Okay, our first piece of evidence. This one completely reframes his entire motivation. Everyone thinks they know what drives Tommy Shelby, but they're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, it seems obvious. He's always after more money, more land, more power. It's the classic gangster story. But here's the real twist. The empire, the money, the political seat, that's not the goal. It's just a byproduct of his real obsession.
Let that one sink in for a second. He's not trying to get more. He's trying to get less. He's desperately searching for the one thing all his power and money can't buy him, a moment of quiet inside his own head.
And that's the key to the whole puzzle. Why is he always putting himself in impossible situations? The shootouts, the betrayals, the deals with the devil? Because it's a drug. It's the only time the noise of the war, the ghosts of his past, finally shuts up. He's not an empire builder. He's an addict chasing a fix.
So if his days are spent desperately chasing that silence, what happens at night when things get quiet on their own? Well, that brings us to clue number 2, and this is where things get even darker.
For most of us, sleep is a break. It's when we get to shut down. But for Tommy, sleep is the enemy. The moment he lets his guard down, the memories he's been running from all day finally break through. The tunnels in France, the screams, the mud, it all comes back.
Think about it like this. For us, our bed is a safe haven. For Tommy, it's the front line. It's a battlefield he's forced to return to every single night. So naturally, he avoids it like the plague.
And suddenly, all those scenes of him awake at 3 a.m. smoking and drinking whiskey, they make perfect sense. He's not just a workaholic with insomnia. He's a terrified soldier standing watch, doing whatever it takes to keep the nightmares at bay.
Now this is where you see the sheer genius of this character. He takes the very thing that tortures him, that awful, haunting silence, and he turns it into his greatest weapon. This is a detail almost nobody ever picks up on.
He gets it. He understands that a loud threat is easy to understand. You can prepare for a punch. But that unnerving, calculated stillness he does, that's terrifying. It forces his enemies to imagine something far worse than anything he could ever say or do.
And he has a method. It's like a 3-punch combo. First, he locks eyes with you, totally unflinching. Second, he just waits, lets that horrible, awkward pause stretch out until you start to panic. And then third, when you're about to break, he delivers a quiet, devastating line. He makes your fear do all the heavy lifting.
And that's his real superpower. It's not the Peaky Blinders, it's not the guns, it's his absolute mastery of the void, the space between the words. He owns every negotiation, not by shouting the loudest, but by being the quietest.
So that brings us to our final and maybe the most heartbreaking clue in the case file. We know what drives him, we know what haunts him, we know how he operates, but where does it all lead?
I mean, think about it. The guy always wins. He gets the business, he gets the power, he beats the bad guy, he accomplishes every single goal he sets. So why, at the end of every season, is he standing by himself in a massive, empty house?
And there's the answer. That's the tragic truth of Thomas Shelby. He's a perfectly calibrated survival machine. He was forged in the hell of World War I to do one thing: survive the next minute. But nobody ever taught him how to actually live. He can't settle down and find peace because peace feels like a trap. Love and happiness are liabilities in a war zone. Deep down, he's still that soldier in a tunnel, and he's still fighting. Only now, the enemy is a quiet, happy life.
So, after laying out all of the evidence, the chase for silence, the nightly terrors, the weaponized void, the crushing loneliness, we can finally close this case, and the verdict is pretty chilling.
We all wanted him to be, didn't we? We cheered for him, we wanted him to win. But we were missing the point. We weren't supposed to see him as a hero.
He's a walking, talking cautionary tale. He's a warning about what trauma does to a soul. He's what happens when you win the whole world but lose yourself along the way. He's not a man. He's the ghost of a man, haunting his own life.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time you rewatch the series, look at him through this new lens and ask yourself that one question. Because once you realize you're not watching a gangster climb to the top, but a ghost desperately trying to find a quiet place to rest, well, you'll never see the show the same way again.